Hey, it's Nikki Beyond the Scene, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another beat with me. So today we are talking about Risa Tisa, and this is a TikToker or woman who decided to come to TikTok to talk about her crazy story time on how she married a narcissist, habitually lying. And I'm not talking about the type of lying that you do is like, all right, you gonna lie, get out of work type of lie, like something simple. Like, no, he was lying to the 10th degree. I'm talking about every single thing. You could be looking at the sky and see that the sky is blue, and he's going to tell you, no, the sky is white. And he will wholeheartedly believe that. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole beginning, middle, and end. I think if you guys want to know what the story is about, you guys can actually find it on YouTube, or you could go to her page, which is Risa Tisa. I'm actually going to put it down in the description box below, so you guys can know what the heck happened. But for a little popcorn little snippet, is basically that she married this dude. She met him on Facebook, and they actually ended up matching on Hinge, and she didn't know that they matched on Hinge because he had a different name on Hinge versus his Facebook. So it became like a little inside joke that they had. So their first date was at Cheesecake, and there was just so many signs that she was like experiencing that pretty much was kind of telling her like, hey, not to go. Like, I don't know if you guys believe in the signs from the universe or whatever the case may be. There was just a lot of that was just basically letting her know, like, hey, maybe this isn't going to work out. Maybe you need to take a pause and really try to figure this person out. And she met him during I'm not gonna say, I don't know, I'm gonna get demonetized or whatever, but I'm gonna say the pandemic. She met him during the pandemic when it first started. So everybody was getting locked up in their houses. Nobody wanted to be alone. A lot of people were unfortunately passing away from the virus, etc. So there was just a lot of fear just behind that. So she just believed that, I'm meeting this guy. She really wants to build a life. It felt like she needed to kind of get a move on it. And she met this guy, and they pretty much hit it off. But then, of course, literally, it felt like the first day he was just lying about every single thing. And on TikTok, she nicknamed him Legion, and we ended up finding out his real name because somebody ended up posting, finding him. Because first of all, he actually came online and tried to tell her, or they'll basically tell us, the audience, to not believe her, that she's lying. And then somebody ended up doxing him and exposing all of his information, which is crazy because even though he is a piece of crap, we should not be doxing people. Regardless, we shouldn't, because it puts his life at risk, and it also puts her life at risk, because there's also people who were against her storytelling, of this entire experience, because people think that she was lying. People thought that she was just telling this story just for clout, to make him look. It's a lot, y'all. But it was this 50-part TikTok series that she put into a playlist on her page for us to see. And it's not much to look at in the videos. You can literally just play it and just listen to it, because it's more of like, it felt like more of like an audiobook than it did like you guys have to watch her do something. Like, she did not tell it in a way that the other girls be doing, like, how people be doing their makeup and telling the story. This was just straight, you getting straight to the point. When I tell you, this man had a printout for every single thing, a printout. When I tell you, he was working that printer from morning to night, because he had a sheet for everything. The house didn't go through. Here's the reasons why. You want to see my bank statements? I got the documents. You want to know where this place at? I got the documents. Like, he had a printout for every single thing, to the point that I'm thinking he's a graphic designer, because I'm just like, how did you make it look so legit? Because she believed it. There's so many occasions where he brought out these sheets and she believed it, because it looked legit. So she didn't feel like she needed to like investigate like where you getting this from, how true it is. And again, like I said, it's all during the panoramic time. So there is just a lot of like, all right, you can't meet in person. You're gonna have to do things virtually. Things are probably gonna get faxed to you. So I'm thinking it's probably like that. So for her, she's just like, okay, she's not really thinking about it. And on top of that, she liked him. Even though, when you see what he really looks like, it's just like, girl. But yeah, he had a printout for everything. She experienced an unfortunate situation She miscarried, and he wanted to celebrate his birthday, so he didn't even care about what she was going through. He wanted to celebrate his birthday. To me, I just feel like there were just so many signs that she could have just been like, wait, hold up, we gotta put a pause on this. What the heck is actually going on? It's like she knew what was right but still chose the opposite. And I feel like there's so many people who could relate to her. I can't, because if it ain't right, it ain't right, you know. But I feel like I know some people like that, because it's like, it doesn't matter how much you want to put in front of their faces, they're gonna look the other way. They're gonna still do what they're gonna do, and they're just gonna ignore those signs, because deep down in their heart they believe that this person is just going to change, or just going to be a better person. They're just going to, I don't know. And in the whole house situation, every time, like he was like, oh, we're gonna look for a house now, because the whole point of this really, because they wanted to be together, they wanted to build a family, they wanted to get the house, they wanted to get the car, like the typical American dream, if you want to slap something political on it. But pretty much like a little American dream that she wanted, but he just kept egging her on, kept gaslighting her every single chance that he got. He basically just liked getting her really excited and letting her down. It was just such a horrible experience that she did, but it was so entertaining, because then next thing you know, he gets arrested in the end, because you know, the divorce finally went through. It was just a whole lot. But like I said, if you guys really want to know the full story, please, I do recommend to just go to her TikTok page. Yes, you can find it on YouTube because somebody compiled her videos, but it's like, that's not her. Unless if it ain't her name, you know, on the channel, I recommend just go straight to her TikTok page. But the things that kind of stood out to me on the outside of her story were the people who were coming for her. I feel like no matter what, we always gonna have haters in the bunch, no matter what. So keep in mind, when she did this story, she did this last week, I believe, or sometime in February, like early February. But she told this story in the span of 4 days, okay? 4 days. So it wasn't like she was posting once a day. No, she was posting like multiple times a day. And because she was posting consistently and telling such a juicy story, she was gaining a lot of traction on TikTok. And you know, the whole idea of just being consistent and, you know, it's gonna do something for you. She was consistent with this story and ended up gaining over 1 million followers on TikTok within 4 to 5 days, which is crazy. In my opinion, I think she changed the game in like storytelling, I think, on TikTok. But I think you also gotta be entertaining, and I think how she told the story was like fantastic. There was no, you know how people be telling their stories on TikTok, like, oh, follow for part 2, like for part 3, or something stupid like that. And it's like, no, if you have a story, you tell it and give it to us raw. Pause, but give it to us raw. So then, you know, the haters gonna come in and was like, oh, you know, don't believe. Mind you, they had zero evidence, but basically were saying, oh, do not believe her story, because why would she tell a story like that? And next thing you know, she's making money and gaining all these followers. It's just for clout, you guys. I'm like, clout for what? And plus, people have to understand, yes, she may have gained that much following. Yes, she's gaining a lot of traction, but she did not make a dime for telling her experience. If anything, she probably, if she could brand herself, and if she can still gain those type of views on a regular video, whatever, then she could probably start making some coin. But she's not getting money from that. People have to understand, you could go viral for anything. You could go viral for anything. That does not mean you're gonna make money overnight. It does not mean you're gonna start getting checks and branders or anything. If anything, she should copyright her story, because she put it out there. She should be able to copyright it, get some kind of legal thing behind it. So in case Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Stars is gonna hit her up, she gonna get her coin, okay? The legal way. But for the most part, she's not making a dime from this. And I don't know why people think they was like, oh, she made like 300K from this. She made like 89K. Where are these numbers coming from? Because they ain't coming from her page. She ain't put no bank statement out. Legion might put a little bank statement out. And y'all saw the picture when he had posted himself at the Netflix studio and he cropped himself in there. He lied to y'all too. But anyway, but people were just coming out the woodwork, just trying to, like, you know, debunk her story. Like, it's not real, it's this and that. And it's like, what do you want? who cares? And then there was like another side of the conversation when it was just like one woman, and basically she was talking about like, you see the way she looks, like that people was coming for her looks, like a woman who looks like her is going to be desperate, is going to go for a man that's out of her league. And I'm like, I hate conversations like that. Like, who cares? At the end of the day, this could have happened to anybody could have gone through this situation, perhaps worse, you know, and people somehow still made it about her looks. Like, oh, a woman like that is going to be desperate, they need to shoot for people that's lower. Like, this whole idea of like, if you're ugly, then date somebody who's ugly, and then, you know, you guys would probably be together because you guys are going to relate together because you're ugly. Like, no, it does not matter. And I remember, a little side tea, this girl I used to know back in the day, she said that her partner was unattractive. And because of them being unattractive, she believed that they were going to be together for a long time and he's not going to treat her bad, because she thought she was unattractive herself. And she thought it was going to work out. Next thing you know, the following year, he cheats on her, gets the girl pregnant, and that girl lives in Florida and she lived up here, and he cheated on her multiple times with that girl that he got pregnant. So the ugliness didn't stop him. So we need to just get out that mindset of this whole ugly people should date ugly people and that's where they need to be at. Like, no, I think you should go for whatever you want to go for. You should go for people that respects you. Nobody should be treating people like that on any level. It doesn't matter what she looks like. It does not matter what he looks like. And I think we need to stick to that. The whole conversation surrounding her looks is beyond me. Like, people was coming for her looks. It was like, oh, she's a pick-me, she's a pick-me, she's a pick-me here. When half of y'all who's talking about she's a pick-me are pick-me yourselves. Like, y'all are a bunch of picks. Picky-me's, whatever y'all want to call yourselves. The pick-me-shas. The point is, she shared her experience and the world got to see it. She wanted to share it because she believed she could probably help some people with her story, which for all we know, she probably did. I just think it's a story worth listening to. If you guys haven't listened to it already, please check that story out. And like I said, go to her TikTok page. Like I said, you could find it on YouTube, but go to her page directly to her. Do not give these other people views and stuff like that and clout. Cause that ain't their story, and it most certainly is not her page. But yeah, it was just such an entertaining story. I was like, whoa, he did that? She went through that? Like, it's almost too hard to believe. But let's say we find out months down the road the story ain't true. Listen, it is what it is. It was the best piece of entertainment I have ever seen on TikTok in its entirety of its existence. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I just think it was just such a crazy ride. Like, again, like, I was watching this, well, I wasn't even watching it, but I was listening to the story like on my way to work. I was telling my friends about it. I'm listening in the back when I'm working and stuff like that, and every moment I was like, ooh, that happened. I was like, wait, hold up. And then, you know, you had to rewind. I was like, wait, this happened. It was a lot. It was a lot. But it was so good. It was a lot. It was sad too. It is definitely a sad story because when you really just look at it from a different perspective, like, she really dealt with a lot. But that's all I have to say about Miss Risa Tisa. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video, and I will be back again with another one. And if you guys have any thoughts about the story and, you know, things that might have stood out to you, please leave your comment down below and I will be sure to answer back.